So what were the steps then that kind of you see now that led you to that point?
I think the pressure I was going through, I didn't know how to deal with it. Like you can imagine, I was young and I wasn't as aware as I am now. Like I'm confident in myself now. I know who I am and I can handle certain things. Them times, I was still like ego driven. So I was still like thinking about what the world thinks and like, oh my God, I've lost my deal and like I'm back in the area. Obviously we're still in the area, but I mean like everyone knows and like, do you know what I mean? Like I've got no money and like, I was just in a fucked up place, man. I was just in a fucked up place. And at the same time, I was learning new things as well. Like what I was saying to you, it was all around the period of that awakening that I was going through.
Yeah.
It was all around that same period. And it was around end of 2011, 2012. And it's like, I was learning so much things. And it's like, every interview I get asked about what happened, I always use the same analogy of it's like, our minds are like computers and they've got different programs on them. And it's like, if you overload the computer, it can crash. And that's what happened to my mind, basically. Like the computer crashed. It was just an overload. Like there was so much stuff going on back to back to back. And then like, yeah, I came home one day and I was just screaming and shouting. And then luckily for me, my uncle that was staying at my house was a doctor in Nigeria. So he sees things like this all the time. So he came downstairs while I was going for my breakdown and told my mum, we need to get him to the hospital. He's having an episode right now. So like, ambulance came for me, took me to the hospital. I didn't even realize I was sectioned at the time. I just thought, I didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
It's only in the morning when I tried to go home and it was like, you're not going anywhere, that I realized, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And how was that when you realized that?
That was shocking as well. No pun intended. But that was scary as well. Like, that was scary. But being in hospital, because I went to hospital 3 times.
3 times, wow.
3 times. That was the first time.
Like 3 separate.
3 separate occasions.
And how long was that kind of period of time?
The first time I went was for 5 days.
Yeah.
The second and third time was like 28 days, so nearly a month.
And how far apart were they?
2 years apart.
So 2, or in 2 years they all 3
No,
happened?
2 years.
Oh, wow.
So like,
it's like a 4-year
it
period.
got scary. Like every 2 years, it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I might relapse again. Like this is the first period, not even to jinx it, please. That it's been like 2-3 years that I've been good. But it's like, but I'm kind of looking back on it now. I kind of know why I kept relapsing, because like I didn't accept it within myself. Number one, and number two, like I kept coming off my medication. Everyone that's going through mental health stuff and they're putting in your medication, trust me, listen to me. Kids, adults, listen to me. Take your meds, man. It's important. I don't know for everyone. Certain people react to medication differently, but for me, I realized that it's extremely important. And I kept coming off it. And every time I came off it, I had a breakdown.
Yeah.
So it's like, but yeah, it's it's a scary experience, man. Being in hospital, like, I can't even begin to describe it. Like, there was points where I was having nightmares back to back.
Wow. Because
I was so traumatized. But you can imagine though, like, but it's weird because it's like, for me it was traumatizing, but I met certain patients in there where it was like heaven for them. So I don't know how they was living before, because I met a patient in there and he was like, this is like heaven for me, from where they took me from, and he got this room, and like, so I don't know what state he was in before, but for me, like, it was so traumatizing. Like,
but was it traumatizing because of the experience of it, or because you couldn't accept what was happening to you?
Both. Both. I couldn't accept what was happening, and the experience was like, fuck. I'm in a mental health hospital. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was just with Drake. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was just with Rihanna. Like, I'm a star. Like, now I've got to explain this in interviews, and I got to go out and meet people. This is now part of my life now. This gets asked in every, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm thinking about all those things. That's a lot to take on, you know? That's a lot to take on. Like, people, like, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but people kill themselves for less than that. Do you know what I mean? And I've been at that brink. So that was a lot to take on. So, but yeah, just being in there was just fucking, it was crazy, man. Like they shine, like the last hospital I was in, they shine like a torch in your room at like 2 a.m. just to see if you're still alive or if you're still in.
Yeah.
And I remember the torch coming, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, and you ain't got no locks in your doors, obviously, just in case you might lock yourself in and commit suicide. Like,
do they take like, so basically I had a friend who was in a very similar situation many years ago, and I remember him telling me they took like his belts and they took like
all of that.
shoelaces
all
and
of
they
that.
took everything.
Your sprays and everything, and they put it in, all of that, He's right. It's facts. And yeah, man. And when your friends come to visit you and your parents come to visit you, and it's like after they leave, like you can't leave with them. Or like sometimes you get like an hour leave back into society. So you get to go out for like an hour. You get to go out for like an hour, and like when you're out, everything's so strange at first, like because you don't get to go out in there. You're literally in one place, like literally doing nothing. So when you go out, everything's so strange, and then your mum brings you back, and then she leaves, and like it's just fucking. It was fucking hell.
What sort of things like were you doing while you were in the hospital? Like you weren't obviously just locked in a room all day, or not locked in, but in a room all day. Were there like, you know, therapy sessions or group classes or
there was
activities?
They've got activities and group classes and therapy sessions, but like I wasn't on that. I was just trying to keep myself to myself.
Why?
I don't know. I think that was another part of acceptance. That's why you said that's important what you said, because I wasn't accepting that I was in that situation. So I was like, no, I'm not doing no, like. The last hospital I went to, I think that's the hospital that I accepted everything and made peace, because like I was talking to, but prior to that, the other 2 times I didn't talk to nobody.
Really?
I just kept myself to myself. But the last time I was talking to people, busting jokes, killing people at table tennis. Like I'm known as a table tennis legend in there. I was killing people at table tennis. So like, yeah, it was completely different that time. But yeah, most of the other times I don't really interact and shit.
Yeah. I suppose it's like, because I've got a thing that I always talk about is like 3 principles of recognize, accept, and grow. And it's like, the first thing is you have to recognize where you are, or what feeling you're having, or what the emotion is, or wherever it is, or how someone has said something to you and how you've reacted to it. You have to recognize, wherever it is, you have to recognize it. Once you recognize it, the next step is to accept it. If you can't accept it and let it just pass, or you let your ego get in the way, or you cause that friction in yourself, then you have that situation where you found yourself in where you can't get past it.
Yeah.
So you're stuck at this acceptance level.
Yeah.
It's almost like a video game. Like you're stuck at the acceptance level and you can't complete it until you fully allow yourself to accept that it's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to be in this hospital. It's okay for what that person said to annoy me. But the more attention you give to the actual thing, the harder it is to accept it, because you create the friction of like, no, but I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to be here. And then once you do recognize and you do pass accept,
you get to growth.
That's when you get to growth. Definitely. And that's where you allow yourself the time and the space to grow.
Definitely.
And I think that's like, what you said there is so powerful. Like the first 2 times you couldn't accept it. And then the third time you were in the hospital, you could accept that you was there. And, you know, it's probably no coincidence off the back of that you're in the position where you are now.
Yeah, exactly. Everything just clicked after that. Everything just started happening. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But when you were in like the lowest of the low, can you describe how that feels in terms of like how depression felt?
It's like, it's just, you just could, you wake up every day with like the same thought of not wanting to be here. It's just the same thing. It's like me and my friend talk about it, because my friend went through a similar situation. He didn't go to hospital, but he went through a really like dark, depressing period. And we spoke about it. It was like, it felt like every day you're living the same life over and over again. The same thing, the same depressing thoughts. Like it's terrible, bro. When I was at my lowest, it was terrible, bro. Especially being in hospital. That's like the worst. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you can be at your lowest at home in your bedroom. I'm at my lowest in hospital. So it's like, yeah, I wish I can articulate it more.
Yeah. What,
describe it more.
So I want to try and build a picture basically for people who, people hear about depression and they hear about mental health issues and they assume that everything's kind of put in the same pool.
Yeah.
And it's not. Like, everything's so kind of A, individual, and B, specific to what it is you're going through, because there's such a broad scope of things that come under the kind of mental health banner, or whatever you want to call it. But like, so for me, so like when I was going through my thing, like, again, same thing. Obviously I wasn't in a hospital, so I wasn't having those like feelings of I'm here, like this is like what the fuck kind of thing. But it was like the only way I can describe it is like a numbness. Like a numbness of waking up and just feeling like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And just everything just feels numb. Like you can't allow yourself to be sad. You can't allow yourself to be happy. You can't allow yourself to do anything. You just like, and this like it's just flat. It's just like flat. It's like, imagine like a picture. There's two ways I can describe it. So it's imagine a picture that's full of color, but all of the vibrancy and all of the color has been sucked out of it. So it's not quite black and white, but it's just flat. And it's just lost all of its niceness. It felt like that. And the other way to describe it is like Space Jam, when like the Space Jam monsters come along and they take like the powers out of the basketball players, and they just left like these like almost like zombie type things. It felt like that. It felt like something had sucked it all out. Like, but for you, was the feeling similar, or was there like other feelings associated to it? And how deep did it go in terms of like your thought pattern? Like, what was the kind of things that you're putting yourself through in your own mind?
It was similar to what you're saying about, especially the Space Jam reference, about it being sucked out of you, because that's what my friends were saying to me. My friends were saying, like, when we came to visit you, well, not all my friends, one of them that used to see me a lot was like, it's like there's no life in you. And I'm a vibrant person, you can tell. Like, I'm slouched on the couch, like I'm always smiling. So they've never seen me like that. This is the complete contrast. Like if you had saw me, you would never recognize me the way I was. Like, still trying to smile here and there, but like, you can tell I was down. Like, I was defeated. Like, something was really going on in my mental. So it's like, and the thoughts I was having was just things not making sense. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know that the answers to all my problems and everything was going to come after, with time. I was going to stumble across the right books that was going to give me information. I was going to stumble across. I've learned so much off the internet. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't know if people are using the internet the way I use the internet, but fucking hell, bruv. This internet era is amazing. Like, even the people I follow on Instagram, I got some beautiful mentors that I probably never will meet face to face in person. That's taught me so much. And I didn't have that at that time. No one wasn't talking about mental health in 2011, 12 when I was going through it. It was completely foreign and alien at the time. No one was talking about it. So you can imagine, I was just in this weird space where I can't really open up to my friends. I can't really talk about it. Now it's different. We're having podcasts. If I go on Twitter and I type in depression, you see like a whole conversation I can join into. Like, now it's a beautiful thing, but at that time it wasn't. But yeah, I think I just went off on one.
And so then, what changed? What got you to that point of acceptance the third time round?
What got me to the point of acceptance the third time round? I think I was looking at the patterns. I started, because I'm a proper introspective person, you can tell. Like, I'm really in my head and I notice things, and I was looking at the patterns. I was like, yo, like, every time you do this, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if people do that, but it's important to do that, man. Really study yourself and know what you do. Some people do stuff and they don't even know they're doing it. But like, I will clock. So I was clocking. I was like, yo, every time you do this, this happens to you, and you're fucking up here and you're fucking up there. So I was like, nah, let me change this. Let me stay on medication and see what happens. And let me listen to what they're saying, because the doctors say to you, come off gradually. That's how you're meant to come. Like,
not just cut it.
not just cut it. So I was like, let me listen. So I just took my own advice and just corrected things I was doing wrong, and yeah, things just got better.
And they've stayed. Are you still on the medication now?
I'm still on it now. Yeah.
I see. And what was the kind of what were the things that you learned along the way? Like you mentioned books, stuff like that. What kind of learnings have there been from the books, from what you've seen online, from the conversations that you, like you said, you now hear amongst other people?
There was a book from Louise Hay. I've been mentioning it a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what's inspired the self-love song. And like, the book's called You Can Heal Your Life. And like, that book just fucked me up because it's like, obviously we throw around the word self-love as like a catchphrase. Like everyone says it, yeah, you got to love yourself. But I don't think we know how deep, do you know what I mean? And the extent that you have to love yourself too. And like this book, every excuse I had for not loving myself, she was just breaking them apart. Like, I'm not loving myself because, I don't know, I'm a failure, or because my mom said this to me as a kid, or she actually shows you the excuses you're about to come up with in the book. That's what fucked me up. That's when I was like, all right, cool, you're amazing. Because she showed me like every excuse I'm about to come up with, and she showed me that it's completely irrelevant. You can start loving yourself today, and you can change those thoughts today, and you can heal yourself today. And like, like there's some books they tell you to read and then read again slower. You always hear that. I did that with that book. Like I read the whole thing and then went back, read it again slower, and it just kept making more sense. And I love books that's got exercises to it. Yeah. Because I like to do stuff practically. So I love books that's like, that will tell you, try this and try that. So I was following her exercise and just doing it. And like shit just started clicking and started making sense.
That's probably any other books that have had that impact on you?
There was this one book, I don't know what the name of it's called. It's got like an African name to it. It's a weird name. But like even the story behind the book's crazy. My friend gave me the book, and then I went somewhere with someone and they told me I got to meet this singer, and I was prolonging it for ages. I don't want to meet him. And then something happened and we ended up meeting each other, and I went to his house and we was just talking, getting to know each other. And he was like, what are you reading at the moment? And I told him what I'm reading. He's like, my dad wrote that book.
No.
He said, my dad wrote the book. No. And I was like, you are officially my guy. Now you're my guy. Wow. And then we spoke even more. So, but I forgot what the book's called. I think it's called 200, I forgot, something Human Principles. And it's just had like different principles that you should go by and like different steps. And like, it was just an amazing book. And that was the first book that really like, basically, there's like, like when you get a computer game, it comes with an instruction booklet. This is how you play the game. When you get to this level, you might get stuck. You go back to the instruction booklet and you see, this is a game of life, bro. And I felt like it's kind of fucked that like we go through the whole educational system and like they don't teach us anything about this human body, about how the mind works, how to play this game, how to operate. So it's like the only thing I can see that's distinctively changed within me now and the Kenneth and the Shocka from before is that I understand the rules of the game. That's the only thing that's changed. It's like I understand how the game works, so I can like conduct myself better, and I can co-create the reality I want to create now. Do you know what I mean? Instead of feeling like I'm a effect to like everything that's happening in life, I can like maneuver myself, and that's the only thing that's different. And that's what I'm trying to do with my music. And I think that's why people's gravitating to the music so much, and everyone's connecting, because all I'm doing is just putting the keys and the codes out there in the music. I'm saying, yo, we need self-love. Like, I don't know if they taught you that in school, in primary, secondary, or uni, but I'm telling you, if you go into this world and you don't love yourself, you're going to fuck up. Do you know what I mean? Like, the song By My Side on Kenneth is a King. I'm saying, yo, you need people by your side on this journey. I know that you want to be by yourself and you want to do everything by yourself, but I'm telling you, you're going to need your family by your side. You're going to need... So I'm just putting different codes and different keys like out there. But that's the only thing that I can see that's distinctively changed is that like, I understand myself, but I understand this thing. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm depressed. I don't know why I'm depressed. I don't know I'm depressed because my image is low. Like, I always talk about this in interviews. I say most of depression, anxiety, stems from having a low self-image. If you talk to someone that's depressed and say, how do you feel? How do you view yourself right now? They're going to say the most horrible things.
Yeah.
So the only way to change that depression and change that anxiety is to raise their self-image. How do you raise their self-image? Through self-love. If you can get them to love themselves and appreciate themselves, they set new standards and new boundaries for their life. I know this shit. So
that's the thing, we're not taught it. No,
we're not taught it.
No one is taught it.
No one's taught it. So it's like, I literally had to go out and seek these things. And I'm urging all my supporters and all your supporters to do the same thing, because this world's not going to teach you that. If this world teaches you that, it fucks up business. I just got sponsored by Primark. I've been wearing these tracksuits for like 3-4 days. I don't care. The self-love so much that the clothes, it doesn't matter. My energy rips through it. It don't matter. So it's like, if the whole world starts thinking like that, these brands are fucked. So I see why they're not teaching self-love and all these principles, because it's going to fuck business up. Girls ain't going to want to do makeup. They just, fuck it, I'm good already. Like, I'm good with what the creator made me with. So they're going to lose so much money. So it's like, I get it, but I'm still putting them principles and that out there for people that do need it, that like people that really do struggle with depression and people that really do have a low self-image. These principles we're putting out there in podcasts like this is so important for them.
What's like the 5 main principles or rules that have changed your view on life and put you into this position? Like, if you could share them now, if you could only write down these 5 things, what would they be?
That's a good one. Self-love is key. That's number 1. That's number uno. Self-love is number uno. What you give out is what you get back. That's like that's like the most important thing, because once you realize that I have no choice but to put out positive energy if I know what's good for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've been a negative person. I was an extremely negative person, mindset wise, everything, and it didn't serve me no good. So now I know that what I was putting out was the energy I was getting back, and that's why I was fucking myself up. I'll be stupid not to switch my whole path and start putting out positive energy. So I'm saying that to say this: if there's anyone out there that is on a negative path and negative things keep happening in their life and they're just surrounded by bad energy, I'm telling you, it's time to check yourself and check the energy you're putting out and try putting out positive energy. Try it. This is what I love about life. We've got free will. We can do what we want. You can try things. And life, it's not over once you fuck up. That's the beautiful thing about life. You can actually change your life. That's what's amazing about life.
Yeah.
Like, Malcolm X was a fucking... We've seen the picture of him with the gun by the window. Malcolm X was a fucking drug dealer. Yeah. He changed his life. He's like, people don't even remember that side anymore.
Yeah. We just, like, you look at some of the rappers, like JayZ, for example,
was a drug dealer.
And now he's like a massive businessman, massive inspiration to a lot of people, like similar kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's like, that's the beauty about life. So you can actually change. And that's what's so amazing. So it's like, try something new. Try it. What's Shocka talking about positive energy? Put out positive energy. Try it. Give it a go. If it works for you, fuck with it. If it doesn't work with you, go back to negative ways if you think that's what's cool. But it's like, and I do that with beliefs as well, because beliefs is the same thing. You can pick up beliefs and you can drop them. There's so much speakers I listen to. Like Will Smith says he says stuff about fear. Yeah, man. The way Will Smith goes on about fear, saying if you're scared, do it anyway. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So you heard his seen the video of him talking about his skydiving experience.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Yes.
Like he's like
he said he was trembling and shaking the day before, and then he did it, and then he thought, why was I like?
Yeah.
So it's like just shit like that, and I like taking on positive belief systems. So you can say something to me today that I think fucking amazing. But even he said a book to me earlier on. They said it's got like great quotes from like different. I'll ask him for the book and I'll go find it. Do you know what I mean? Because it put
Tools of Titan.
Because it put like a smile on his face. Do you know what I mean? And I'm human too. So that means whatever can put a smile on your face can possibly put a smile on mine.
But see this is the thing, right? So one of the things that I would put into that my rule list is, and it's something that I talk about a lot, is like that your experience and your happiness comes from the inside outwards,
100,
and not that outside in.
Definitely.
So like what you just said there was the book that Anton was talking about, put a smile on his face, so it has the possibility to put a smile on your face, is if you allow it to put a smile on your face by choosing to, rather than, it's not the book that puts the smile on your face.
No,
it's the way you view the book.
Yes,
that puts the smile on your face.
Definitely.
And that was the game changer for me.
Yeah.
That was like that ownership of that inside out way of just living and thinking. Like it doesn't matter what happens.
That's another key. That's another key as well, to do things from the inside out.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's a major key, because it's like our reality doesn't change until we've changed on the inside.
Exactly.
And then the outside reflects it. So like that's a major key. There's so many keys, man. I can't think of them off the top.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so happy I got the freestyles.
Yeah.
Because like I read something and I've been blessed with a gift to be able to articulate in a freestyle. Most of the freestyles I do, people think that, oh my God, Shocka must be a fucking guru. He's got, no, it's not. Do you know, it's not even that. And it's good because I tell them in the captions. But like I'll literally read a page and be like, yo, I need to make this a fucking freestyle. They need this because this can help. And like I just turn it into gems. So yeah,
that's it. Because like I'm the same in this. You know, going back to what I was saying about the similarities. Like I don't freestyle, but I'll read something or watch something or see something or hear something, and I'll be like, oh my God, this is inspiring me. I need to write about it, or I need to record a short Insta video, or I need to do something or talk about it on the podcast in my own way. And it's just like it's just taking those messages in and, like you said, putting them back out in the world in a positive way.
Yep.
And that's
and
like
J. Cole said something like, he said in his day-to-day life, he's an observer, and then what he observed pours out into the music. Yeah. And that's why I love him. I think that's probably why he's probably my brother, because that describes me so much. Yeah. I'm such an observer in the day-to-day. Like, I don't really, like, I'll bust a joke here and there, but usually I'm just like, even on my way on the train, like, I'll just be watching kids and their parents, or watching the homeless man come on the train, or watching, I'm just so observant. And then like, when it's time to like put the freestyles together, it all just starts pouring back out. So
it's like it's taking stuff in, so much of it, that when the time comes, it just comes out naturally without you having to think about it, right? And I was listening to another interview you did with Rochelle from the Vulnerable podcast, and you said if people become more human, it will help them with their human experience on a day-to-day basis. And I was just like, what? I was like, hold on, let me rewind that. Let me listen again. And I had to listen to it again, and I was like, the realness behind that. Yeah. It comes back to that thing of accepting and allowing yourself to be human and know that it's cool. You're gonna have good days, bad days. And I was just like, that was like, you know, you just hear something and you're just like,
bro, I have those moments every fucking day. It's becoming like an occurring thing. I've been having the moments. That's what I have when I read these books. I'm like, what the fuck? How was I not supposed to? That's why the freestyles are so potent, because it's like, I want you to know, like, you need the keys. Like, what the fuck? And the fact I can do it in a fun way, where I can put metaphors in it and you can rewind it and it's on a dope beat, that's like the gift. That's even more beautiful. Like self-love, like you said, is stuck in your head. That's amazing. Yeah. If I came up to you today and I stopped you in the street and I said, self-love, 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 it would be annoying. But like, I've managed to be blessed with this gift where I can put it into a melody, like, you give everybody else love. And you never give it, you know what I mean? And like, it's stuck in your head, and it's like, at the same time it's stuck in your head, it's a principle that like can pop up at any time. You can be depressed, and then the song might, because our brains work like that. Yeah. It associates stuff with things. So you can be depressed, and then obviously the verse, when I say sometimes it's cool not to give a fuck, you can be saying to yourself like, bro, I give a fuck so much, yeah, and the song can just pop up, and you remember, oh shit, this is what Shocka was talking about. Sometimes I just need to like fuck everyone and just do what I want to do. So it's like, it's amazing you can do that with music,
mate. That tune specifically, like, I think I reached out to you. So I went to Hussein Manawar's show where you were supporting, and it was the first time I heard the song, and I was standing at the back. And I think I came in just before the song, or so, I can't remember. And you started the self-love song, and I was like, "This is mad." This, like, just the lyrics of it, of like, you show everybody else love, but you never show yourself love. Don't forget about your self-love. Self-love. It's like so simple, but we don't hear it as blatant as that in a track, or like anywhere really as obvious as that. And even the way the crowd were like responding. I think you put the video up on your Insta where there's like the whole crowd is like screaming it all back to you and repeating it. And it's just like, people were joyful to say those things because we don't really get the opportunity to say things like that out loud.
It's true.
And that's mad. That's so mad to me.
That's crazy.
Like, why not? Like, everyone's more happy talking about, you know, some rubbish.
I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
We say that with our chest, with so much confidence.
Yeah.
But I fucked up to him. I'm a dickhead.
Yeah.
We say that with so much confidence, but like, we won't say like, yo, I actually love myself, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually an amazing human being. What I just did just now, by opening that door for that woman, it's good. Do you know what I mean? We won't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But as soon as we fuck up, the second we fuck up, we're so quick to, and that's what the Heal Your Life book from Louise Hay. She says, never criticize yourself. Never. She doesn't say don't criticize yourself. She says never criticize yourself. You don't have to do that. And that plays in my mind all the time. As soon as I'm about to go in and rant on myself, her words just pop up. Yeah. And I chill. So it's like, and it's like, do you know what's so fucked as well? Well, it's not fucked, it's a good thing, but it's like, these principles and these books we're reading, you don't just start applying and locking the principles after one day. It takes a period of time. So it's like, the quicker we get to know them, the better. Because we're going to have to start practicing it and practice. It's not just going to happen. Like, you don't just hear self-love and you're like, right, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
the penny's dropped.
The penny's dropped. No, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
In fact, the universe might test you straight after just to fuck with you. So it's like, you got to put it into practice. So the sooner you get these principles, the better, man. So you can start applying them and add them to your day-to-day life. I'm still learning. I'm not there yet. And that's what's so beautiful about the self-love song. Because I'm saying you give everybody else up, but you never give it. I'm saying it to me. It's for me. Music's my therapy, but people just benefit from it. But most of the songs are for me. I'm not there yet. I'm still like saying fucked up shit and still like eating fucked up food and still like, I'm not there yet. But what I'm trying to say to everyone is that I've decided that I'm willing to make the steps to get there. Yeah, you're on the journey. I'm on the journey. Some people haven't even started the journey yet, decided. I'm saying I'm on the journey. Like, if you see me 4 years from now, I might be there. And just realize that the reason why I was there is because I made that decision like 3 years ago. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I think it's important for me personally. I find, or I think at least, that there isn't a destination. Yeah. There's not like somewhere that you arrive and you're like, hey, I'm here. Like, the party started. Like, I don't think it works like that. Like, even someone like Will Smith, you know, he's on like a next level. He's like clocked the game. But if you spoke to him, he'd be like, no, I'm on the journey.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm not there yet. And I just feel like there's not. I think people expect there to be a place that you get to, where you reach. Just, all of a sudden, you're happy and you're joyful, or you're successful. And it just, I don't think it works like that.
No,
I think
you have moments.
I think the journey is the destination.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the trick of it.
Definitely, yeah.
And we're too busy looking for the destination that we don't realize that we're there on the journey.
And I feel like that's something that I'm doing different now. Is that like, I'm trying my hardest to appreciate the journey so much. Like, I'm doing everything.